Now for our business news segment, and I'm joined here by Catherine Bennett. Catherine, good to have you with us. Now, the Chinese-owned video app TikTok is under a great deal of pressure from the Trump administration to find a US buyer before that November deadline. But of course, they have more challenges that have been brought up.
Absolutely. So China has recently updated its list of technologies that are banned or restricted for export and has added technology for civilian use to the list. So that, of course, means a social media app. And what that effectively means for TikTok is that its Chinese owner ByteDance will now have to seek a license from the Chinese government before it can find a buyer. So that license is essentially tacit approval from Beijing. And going through the process of getting it could, of course, slow down that eventual sale. Now, ByteDance does have a bit of leeway, but the clock is ticking. There is, as you said, that November deadline, November the 12th, and it has until that deadline to find a buyer before it's effectively banned in the US, which is one of its largest markets. Now, the app remains wildly popular and it is still growing. It has over 100 million monthly active users in the US, so it won't necessarily be difficult to find offers. For the moment, the software giant Oracle has said that it will be placing a bid and it wants to expand into video. And last week, Walmart also announced that it will be partnering with Microsoft and also putting in a bid for the app. So ByteDance has been forced into this position of having to sell the video app because of this ongoing economic war between the Trump administration and China. And the former CEO of TikTok actually said much the same thing when he resigned last week. And he resigned after just over 3 months in the role. But he said that he hadn't anticipated just how much the social media app would really be embroiled in these US-China trade tensions. Now, moving on to the opening of economic ties between two other countries, Israel and the United Arab Emirates. Business leaders in both countries are hoping that new diplomatic ties will also mean a boost in trade. Yinka Oyetade takes a look at the sectors that could benefit from this development.
While this first flight between Tel Aviv and Abu Dhabi holds the promise of normalized relations between Israel and UAE, it also points to lucrative deals between the two countries.
This opens the door for what I can only call unbridled trade, tourism, investments, exchanges between the Middle East's two most advanced economies.
Despite a boycott on trade relations in place between the two countries since 1972, experts have estimated that unofficial exchanges between Israel and the Gulf states, including UAE, will have amounted to $1 billion by 2019. Now Israel's finance minister is hoping to boost that to $6.5 billion. There are already a number of deals in the health sector in the works. Apex, an investment company based in Dubai, is set to partner with the Israeli startup Terra, which specializes in coronavirus tests. Another deal between the Abu Dhabi Stem Cell Center and Pluristem Therapeutics based in Haifa is also in the works. Israel dominates the high-tech industry, and the United Arab Emirates is hoping to get access to the country's state-of-the-art technology. On its shopping list, drones, cybersecurity machinery, and Israel's highly coveted Iron Dome defense system. While weapon manufacturers in Israel are looking forward to opening up the market to the UAE, the Israeli Prime Minister, however, doesn't want the country to lose its edge in the region. Benjamin Netanyahu vetoed the UAE's request to buy F-35 stealth fighters, a move that disappointed the UAE. President Donald Trump has said that following the country's peace efforts in the Middle East, the F-35 sale is now under review.
Well, if we needed further proof of the dominance of the US tech sector, a new report from the Bank of America Global Research has just that. The report says that tech stocks alone in the US have become more valuable than the entire European stock market. The market cap of the US tech sector has reached $9.1 trillion, which surpasses Europe, including the UK and Switzerland, at $8.9 trillion. The 5 top tech companies, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon and Facebook, accounted for a full 17.5% of the S&P 500 earlier this year. The pandemic has, of course, helped all things tech, pushing tech stocks to staggering heights. For example, Amazon's share price is now around 20 times higher than it was 10 years ago. And Apple is worth more than all of France's CAC 40 companies combined. That's all from me for business on those rather staggering news from the stock markets.
Thank you very much for that, Catherine, and thank you for watching. Do stay tuned. More news coming up from me and the team in around 3 minutes' time. Thank you so much.